But the alone time was a good time for me. It was a time where I could process what God was showing me. And he revealed to me that my marriage was plagued with emotional and verbal abuse. Many times my husband pushed me away and didn't want anything to do with me. One of my favorite lines that he used to tell me was, "I love you, but I can't stand you." And when God began to reveal all those things about my life, I realized I didn't want to go back to that life. I didn't want my husband back. I wanted the future that God intended for me. And I let go. And the minute I let go, all the blessings began to happen in my life. I went on vacation by myself to Mexico. Great time, by the way. I bought my own house. God showed me a purpose for my life that I didn't have before. And quite unexpectedly, he gave me the love of my life. But the healing was a process, a very long process, going through all those emotions. But I did recover. I did learn to forgive and let go of the past. You see, I didn't have a choice in my circumstance, but I had a choice in how I was going to handle it. I could spend the rest of my life in self-pity and become bitter, or I could allow the Lord to work in me and give me a better life. I didn't want to become as bitter as all those lemons that were dropped into my life. I wanted to heal. When I bought my house, I knew God gave it to me, because guess what was in the backyard? A lemon tree. He gave me the lemon tree to remind me that every time I'm out there mowing my yard or playing ball with my dog, that life is going to hand you these lemons. Life is going to hand you hardships at times. Nothing's perfect in life, but you have a choice. You can make lemonade out of these lemons. I'm 38 years old now, and I have complete peace over my life, over my past, and I found my joy. I'm now a divorce care facilitator at the main campus in Calvary, Wednesday nights, helping others find their hope through their long process of the divorce recovery. I've also been invited to be a volunteer for the Hands of Hope domestic women's shelter here in Phoenix. And I'm standing before you today because of all the things that God has brought me. He's brought me through the rain. He gave me hope. And there is a rainbow at the end of all that rain. There is a calm in the storm as you cling on to the hope. There is another side to whatever situation you're going through. Not just divorce, but everything that we face. There's another side to it. And if there's anyone contemplating suicide for whatever reasons, I beg you, don't go through with it. God has miracles for you lined up that you can't believe. You are a child of God. You are a princess in his kingdom. And there's nothing that's bigger than God, and he can take care of it. Don't take your life. And don't let one person influence your heart. Just because one person couldn't love you or understand your heart, don't close your heart down. Open your heart and receive and give love, because it is the greatest gift that God has given us, is to love each other. I really thank you for this opportunity tonight to share my story with you. Thank you. And if you would like, I do have the love of my life here. His name is Travis.
Angela, thank you so much. Aren't you just so proud of her? She hasn't done this very often. And you did such a good job sharing your story. You know, one of the things that really touched me is just your encouragement to all of us to get the kind of help that is available, that God has for us when we find ourselves in really desperate situations. Now, your testimony touches many things. It touches domestic violence. It touches suicide and depression. It touches divorce and divorce recovery and many, many issues. Where could a person go for help? I mean, you've already mentioned, a couple of things, but just share with us some of the ways that people here at Calvary, how they could get help.
You can get help anywhere. The biggest part is being afraid to get help because you think you're the only one going through the situation and you're not. So that's the big one right there. But you can reach out to friends, you can reach out to family, you can get a hold of a church. I walked into mine. You can call them. You reach out to people. There are people out there willing to help you through, but they have to know, first of all, that you need the help.
That's right. So it's really, really important to open up and to be able to share those things. And so we're just so grateful at what God has done. What a great praise to his glory. We have a great big God, don't we? He is amazing. Thank you so much, Angela.